What's up, boys? Tricks Ridiculous back with another video. So the official Red Room update part 2 is almost upon us. We got some new information as well as the new champion system that is coming to the game alongside it. We got some news on Spider-Man as well and some new consumables coming to the game. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you do like the content. It really does help the channel out and I greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So the Red Room Part 2, they're officially coming out with actual new content. I know the Red Room Part 1, as they called it, was pretty lackluster, and I think they kind of maybe did a little bit of a disservice, from my previous video by really hyping it up as kind of part 1 of the event. They've kind of stepped back and said they didn't really mean to hype anything up. It was really just kind of almost like a resource week, if you will, to kind of gather resources, just do some quests, play the game the normal way. But now they're officially coming out with the actual Red Room event, and it's going to feature what they call hacked harm rooms that are basically going to be harm rooms that are different layout. They're going to have obstacles, different types of challenges. They are going to be single player only. So people aren't super thrilled about that, but I think just the way they're going to be laid out, the way the challenge is going to be, it's going to make sense for them to be single player. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting. They don't seem like they're going to be too high difficulty from a combat perspective. They do only go up to 120 power. So I don't think it's going to be the fighting that's really going to be the issue, but I think it's just going to be the actual obstacles themselves. They mentioned things like, the floor is lava type of deal, and like lightning and environmental damage and things like that. So going to be kind of something different that players are going to have to watch out for, things that they're not normally used to. So that is going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited to see, and it's really just kind of another new game mode to play. So definitely going to jump in there, check that out. Should be fun. So the new champion system, this is what I'm very, very excited about. This was something that, I think flew a little under the radar as far as, all of the different updates that are coming to the game. This wasn't one that was widely talked about on the roadmap, but now that we've got some details around it, it is actually pretty sweet. And for someone, like me and a lot of other players who are already in the end game, have their characters, pretty finely geared out, there wasn't much of a reason other than to maybe get a more optimal min-maxed piece of gear or to just play for fun. But now there's kind of more grind to have for characters that are already level 50. So, doing missions, even if you're not going to get gear that you need, or maybe your character doesn't need any gear, you'll at least still be getting progress towards your new champion ranks. So, that grinding that you put in is not going to waste. And really what it's going to be, there's going to be a whole new page right on your skills screen. So if you know the screen, the primary, specialty, mastery, there's going to be a new one called champion. And basically, every time you level up past level 50, you're going to get one champion skill point, and you're going to be able to use those to boost your champion nodes. So there's going to be nodes for, from a basically combat, tactical, utility, and defense. And from a combat, there's going to be melee damage, range damage, heroic damage increases. From a tactical standpoint, it's going to be crit damage, crit attack chance, and then stun and status damage. From a utility, it's going to be heroic charge rate, perk activation, and then reduced damage from status. And then from a defense, it's going to be flat health, defense, and then health recovery boosts. So for each of those that I just mentioned, there's going to be 5 levels of boosts that you can actually get. So obviously the higher in level, the more of a boost you're going to get to that particular one. So, but the other thing about that is the higher in level you go, the more champion skill points it's going to take to level it up. So if you're really going to want to focus right on in to, let's say, your melee damage and really focus in on melee, it's going to take you a lot of points to get all the way up the tree on melee, whereas it'll take less points if you spread it out. But you will be able to completely fill out the tree. It will take about 170 so levels. Excuse me, 370 so levels. So gonna be a bit of a grind, and it is something you're gonna have to do specific to each character. So it really, I think that's kind of cool. I didn't want a system that kind of shared across all characters, kind of like a Paragon, like some sort of badass ranks. I like the idea that it is character specific, because it really can kind of separate, it can really show, like, this is my Iron Man. I really put a lot of work into this Iron Man, and that's why he's so powerful. And then maybe other characters you have, that you don't focus as much on, they're not gonna have those boosts in comparison. So I like the idea that it is character specific. It really lets you be able to focus in on the characters that you main and really be able to step them up. So really, really cool. Really excited for this system. Now, one thing that I'm not super crazy about, and I might be a little bit doom and gloom right now, is what they're calling heroic catalysts. Now, these are going to be new consumables, which the consumables are a brand new thing they're adding into this game, and the heroic catalyst will be the very first one we get. But basically, it's going to be a boost that gives all of your characters an XP bonus for 3 days. All right, so that's the current heroic catalyst boost that we're getting. And they said basically they're going to be available for free in the marketplace every so often. So they're just going to kind of throw everybody one every so often. You can use it when it's convenient for you, but obviously using that will give you an XP boost that you can really level up your champion ranks very quickly. Now, this is fine if this is what it stays at. If this is all it is, I'm totally okay with it. I think that's totally fine. It'll help newer players level up, brand new characters that they've never even leveled before, because to be honest, the XP grind is pretty tedious. I have a video on how to do it pretty quickly, but even that, it's just a repetitive thing. People really just want to get their characters leveled. They want to get in the end game. So I can totally appreciate and respect that. Where I get a little bit sour taste in my mouth is just with consumables in general. Just the term consumable in a game like this, it leaves the door open for a lot of potential issues in the future. I hope there aren't any, but I definitely don't want any type of pay to win, any type of additional boosts that we could buy in the marketplace. Like I said, right now, that's not going to be the current system. That is not how these these heroic catalysts operate. It is just going to be a flat amount of these that all players will get and can use at their convenience. There's no way currently for any player to buy additional of them. But, like I said, the fact that now consumables are a thing, it just worries me a tiny bit, but I'm not trying to get all doom and gloom over it. So we'll have to see what happens with consumables in general in this game. And then just the last thing, which very kind of just a minor piece of news, but still really nice, is that we did get confirmation that Spider-Man will be coming, still just to PlayStation, but in 2021. That is the release window. So with the current roadmap, we're going to be getting the Cosmic Cube next month. And then probably, following the trajectory, it's been month after month release. So one can only assume that, each node in the roadmap is a 1 month interval. That would leave us getting the Wasteland Patrol in July, and then getting Black Panther in August. So if Black Panther does come in August, that would mean Spider-Man would be still coming later this year. And my assumption would be that Black Panther and Spider-Man will be the only two characters that we get for the rest of the year. But you never know. Like I said, in past videos, I do think Spider-Man is a bit of an off cycle character. So it is possible that he just gets released, in addition to whatever else they're working on, just because he's specific to PlayStation. But he's not going to interact. He's not going to interface with the main story at all because of how that works. So players on Xbox and PC, they are still going to get, there's still going to be a roadmap that, follows what those players would get and what everyone else would get anyway. So pretty exciting news. I'm excited to see kind of where it all goes. Definitely excited to check out the Red Room. Think it'll be cool, kind of a cool new concept for the game. And then really excited for the champion system. Really happy they put something like this in the game. This was something that was urgently needed, and really just happy they're putting it in now, especially, if this is a game that is going to live for years and years, this is something that we're going to want in place so that we're making progress towards it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of these different topics in the comments below. Again, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.